back at it again in the minute. And you know what? I had to bring in somebody new because they've been out in the trenches with me out there at the OTAs and the veteran mini camp. Rick Doc Walker. Hey, Doc, thanks for joining us. We teaming up on Tony today. We're taking off the
You
head.
better get somebody. I thought you said you bringing
fair.
somebody in with knowledge. What you did?
It's
You
not
just went and
fair.
got anybody off the street that don't know nothing about football.
Where is Novena at? See, that's what I'm saying. It's not fair. You got him standing there alone. There got to be some nurses, aides around him.
And Donna, I'm
Hey, man, this is
surprised
early.
If you see me in a bear fighting, help the bear.
Hey,
You
Tony,
and Mike Bird. Yeah, I understand.
I'm not fighting, but before we get on the Commanders, as far as what's been going on out there, they're in the break before they start training camp, the real deal. Let's talk about some other things that's happening in the news. And me and Rick are Laker fans, in the trenches of that. And then, as far as the great Jerry West passing away, and then Willie Mays, and then, the Lakers have a new coach. So let's jump right into that. Let's talk about Jerry West. This is a guy that not only was a great basketball player, 14 years in the NBA, tons of awards, and I think he was just a great executive along with playing the game too. Could y'all, Rick, I'll start with you. Talk about Jerry West. What do you know? What do you remember about this guy? To me, after he left the Lakers, that's the downfall of the Lakers.
Well, you haven't grown up out there and worship the purple and gold, and then get a chance at UCLA to see him at the men's gym, to be able to sit with him watching practice. He was a gym rat. He was a 24/7 animal. He was a dog. And he built teams. He was an aggressive. Everything you saw was kind of true about him. When you follow the Lakers, you've lost more than you won, but you lost in finals. People don't realize how often they were in it. Like, he only got one championship. He was in 9 finals. That's like us being in 9 Super Bowls and only winning 1.
Exactly.
So it's far more pain. This dude was tortured. Being that as aggressive as he was, he won 1 out of 9. He was tortured, man. But the dude was competitive, and that did Elgin Baylor, playing with him. The Rabbit, as Coach Thompson used to refer to him as. So we're taking hits now. All kidding aside, when we grew up in black and white TV, watching Gunsmoke and all that, and all them people, our heroes on TV now, we walking behind them slowly. It's one after another, and it ain't fun.
Hey, Tony.
The steps are getting shorter, too. Seem like I'm walking with them.
Oh, dude, it ain't fun. I mean, it's like, used to be the distant hero. My father was a Giants fan.
Right, it ain't fun to
Willie
week.
Mays.
You said a lot of great things there, Doc, and I don't know who gave you the script, but they did.
I'm here alone. Ain't nobody here but me.
Hey, Tony, one thing I got to throw out there, he was from West Virginia as far as.
I knew you were going to try to get that in.
Throw that in. But look, Tony, 14 years, All-Star 14 years, average 27 points, 5.8 rebounds, 6.7 assists. But him being as far as the executive, the Lakers in the 80s, he brought life back to that team, as far as the championships they did. And then when they took a little skid, they brought in Shaq. And, as far as Kobe, and in the 90s, they got back to winning again. He ended up in Golden State being a consultant. They won 3 championships, and then he was with the Clippers. What do you know or remember about Jerry West that stands out in your mind, Tony?
He legitimized the league, and when they put him on as the logo, and as everything the doc indicated, the one thing about it, we knew he was a hard worker. He was always taking his game and evolving to the next level, and that was when everybody was just basic basketball at that time. He came out and he developed his game. He became the logo. He became a leader. Then once he left the game, just as a few other players did at that time, he went into becoming an executive. He became very good at that. And one thing you did say, Donna, when he left the Lakers, he took a lot of it with him. But at the same time, you look at a guy like this, and you look at this league would not be what it is right now were there not for people like Jerry West.
Yeah, they said that Jerry West, perhaps his greatest work in one swoop, was during the summer of 1996 when he lured free agent Shaquille O'Neal from the Orlando Magic, and then also drafted Kobe Bryant. So let's switch gears a little bit to Willie Mays, another great one that passed away also at the age of 93. Starting with you, Tony, and then with Rick, talk about the great Willie Mays and just what he did for the culture part of everything, as far as the coming up in the age that he did, and what he did even after that. So Tony, Willie Mays, you got the floor.
You take a look at Willie Mays and you think about barrier breakers. Now, when we were referring to Jerry West, we were talking about a man that had the opportunity to get in. When we talk about Willie Mays, we're talking about somebody that had to change the thought of a culture. He had to be fought. He had to be the last one to drink water wherever they were, and different things he had to change. But he fought through that and was one of the best players ever to play. So you look at him, and a lot of people forget about looking at how good of a player he was. They look at what he did for the game of baseball, and you can see it evoluting now into other players. But at the same time, when you think about where it was beginning for the African American, Willie Mays' name always going to come up, and that's something we should never forget.
Hey Rick, what's your memories of Willie Mays?
Well, my father was a Giants fanatic, as most of the family was. That's why I became a Dodger nut, because you want that rivalry in your house. Like, my oldest is a Celtic, and this dude, but I took his joy away because I don't hate them, because they play the game the right way. So if they win, I congratulate them because I love the way they play. So he couldn't. I took away his joy because I don't hate them. I don't even hate Dallas. If they play the right way and get it done, I'll accept it.
That's a hard one for me.
Well, but the racism part about it,
yeah,
that I'm glad the public now gets to deal with it, as we deal currently with another wave of racism.
Mm-hmm.
So don't act like you're not sensitive to this. This dude and how they were treated, and just go listen to Reggie Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
He was eloquent as he reinstated that hate. We know what it's like to be called names out of our name, but to go and be the only African American on the team, and they can't stay in a hotel, can't eat in a restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of white people that really defended and helped all these brothers, and they are to be commended. But to not accept how nasty people were, and then fast forward to now,
yeah,
and we still dealing with stupidity, you got to check yourself. I'm not going to not mention it, is all I'm saying. These brothers had to go through something that's just inhumane, and ought to be, the logo should be Willie.
And you know what?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, and you're right about that. And the thing about it, we would not be sitting here if it were not for people like the Willie Mays.
That's right.
Yeah.
We would not be sitting here on a podcast referring to what's happened in the past and what we're seeing in the future. But the bad thing about it, and Rick was very correct on that, is we're seeing it again right now. So I guess it's up to us to kind of be soldiers and keepers of the gate or whatever, to try to see, can we help straighten this out? But when you look at people like Willie Mays, we wouldn't have nothing to straighten out if it were not people like him and Jerry West. We have to give him.
Oh, and Jerry. Oh, yeah.
You got to give him his play as well. And that's what has built the foundation. If you notice, in every sport, it seems as though they take that foundation, and you have to have that, and that's that lead person that's going to make a difference in your team, your organization, and usually your history.
Yeah. Like you said, I can't say anymore as far as the great Willie Mays, what he had to endure and still be a great baseball player as he was. He set the trend for a lot of things that we don't have to deal with because of what he took. So back to basketball, the Los Angeles Lakers looking for a new coach. It seems like, is LeBron the coach killer? because the Lakers have had so many coaches since he's been in there. I'm just throwing that out. He seems like he's the coach killer because they, 1 year in, 2 years in, and it's like a revolving door. That's the reason why I said the Lakers have not been the same since Jerry West left that organization because they can't get it right. So they were looking for a new head coach, and they wanted to lure Connecticut's Dan Hurley away, but he said ain't happening. He's staying with Connecticut. He'd have built championships there, so I know why they wanted him. But he probably should have stayed right there, because with this organization right there, you just don't know. JJ Redick is the new head coach for the Los Angeles Lakers. No coaching experience. Somebody said, well, Steve Kerr didn't have any coaching experience with Golden State, and look what he's done. Two different people. So, Rick, we bleed purple and gold. What's your take on JJ Redick coming in there? And LeBron James still hasn't committed to coming back because he can opt out. We don't know about that, but what's your take on the new head coach?
Well, I was there when Pat Riley was the color analyst with Chick Hearns. So this is not new to Laker Nation. You can get people to come there and play for less. They're run like the Beverly Hillbillies to me. And I'm having, done this for a long, long time. I just want it to end. I'll be glad when it's over. This is nothing new. Bron is what he does, but he shows up in shape. Yeah. I can't hate him. Like a lot of guys, they don't even play. This brother shows up in shape, plays hard. I can't hate, but he's passive aggressive. He runs everything and then takes credit for nothing. I didn't do it. They ain't bring him. Dude, it's okay. I just wanted to end. I'll be glad when it's all over. We need to get out this cycle and get back to Laker basketball, because this thing is just ridiculous. And I don't know how it can end until it's burned down to the ground.
Yeah, Tony, your thoughts? I mean, it's killing me right now, as far as being an all-time Laker fan, and what the dynasty that they built over the years, and for it to come to crumbling down with just how they've been running this organization. The great Jerry Buss and whoever is in the background making these decisions is not really good, because Anthony Davis and that crew, they're trying to assemble a team really quick to win championships. But the Boston Celtics, congratulations to them, but it's heartbreaking to see an organization almost like the Commanders, over the years, as far as what happened to them, the winning that was there. You can put similarities between the two as far as what's happening with the Lakers, what happened to the Commanders, to destroy an organization. What's your take, Tony, on JJ Redick and just what's happening in LA with the Lakers?
Well, when you look at JJ Redick and you ask them, what were they thinking about? They were thinking about LeBron's the coach right now. You look at that happening years past. Bill Russell, he played, and his last couple of years he played and coached. LeBron is really going to be just coaching this team right now if he's still there. Anytime you can have a son that can play and average 5 points, and then he's up for the draft, that means you got power in this league. So LeBron has power. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm not saying it's not a good idea. Young coaches are doing well. I think the coach they had this year did a pretty good, admirable job. Every time when you have two big stars and one of them stay hurt, you're never going to get to the top. And one thing that was proven this year is the people like LeBron and the people like Rick Walker and me and all of us, we need to look behind us, because there's somebody behind us now. And that's what they're having in basketball. You got a lot of new people there and everything. I think it'll be good for your Lakers. But I think they're going to still have to do one thing. You can look at the last 3 or 4 years. We said they don't have that outside consistent shooter. They got to get that. They got to get a point guard they can move. And now you notice point guards now, they don't just get assists. They do a little bit of everything. They got to do that. And they got to always just realize LeBron can't do it by himself. I think it was a good move. I don't know what they plan on doing, but I tell you what, to me, until further notice, LeBron is the coach of that team.
hey, Tony, this is a sad thing. Players play. let the coaches coach. You can't get involved so much in making it seem like, okay, this is my team. I have to say and whatever. That's the reason why you can't win. Look at this. Devin Ham, who they fired on May the 3rd, he led the Lakers to 2 playoff berths and a Western Conference final in 223. And you get fired and whatever. That means that somebody got you fired because they didn't like the way you were coaching, or you're saying that. I'm not saying it was LeBron, but he is the leader. I'm not taking away from his skill set.
Well, you done said his name 2 or 3 times.
Hey, well, I'm just calling it out.
You already said it.
I'm just calling out because the Magic Johnsons and the Kareem Abdul-Jabbars and Michael Coopers and James Worthy and all of that, they let the coach coach. That's the reason why Steve Kerr in Golden State, they constantly build that team to be a winner. They slid this year, but trust me, they'll be back on the top and everything because the players play and the coach coaches. But I don't know if I don't know if the Lakers got it right again because JJ Redick, the way things go, he's only going to be here 1 year at max or 2 if he doesn't get it right quick. So let's switch gears on to the Washington Commanders and looking at that team as they head into the 2024 season training camp at the end of July. Hey, Rick, you've been out there. You've seen a lot of things that's happening, what people have been talking about. I like Dan Quinn and what the coaching staff is trying to put together out there. I like what I've been seeing. Not to get excited about anything because no pass has gone on, but the beginning stages of the process is what I like.
Well, Tony will tell you as well. This to me is all cerebral. They got a smart group of guys because they're able to put things in and go on the field and it didn't look chaotic. I never saw them do a restart. I saw nobody jump off sides. All I was looking for was, do they have dum-dums that are just athletic, or they have some guys that are smart? Because you win with smart players. That Tarzan thing, that don't work. You got to have people that can think. And I was impressed with how intense practice was. They're not going to win until the defense is right. And Tony will tell you, the best teams have the most intensity in practice. Mm-hmm. They're not fighting, but they're aggressively getting through practice because they know that's what helps us get through the game. If I don't give him a proper look and the dude he's going to play against Sunday shocks him, that's my fault. I got to get him ready for what he's going to see. He got to get me ready for what I'm going to see. We should never be shocked on game day if we practice right. That's what I saw out there. Dude, they got a level of intensity. The defensive guys run with the offensive guys all the way to the end zone, talking trash the whole way with them. Offense always does. They catch, they run. Them defense dudes run the whole way, piping at that ball, all the way to the end zone, and then run back. I've never seen that. So I like the fact that they enjoy being out there. They enjoy the staff is quirking. It ain't like that mortician group we had before. Man, it's loud. It's like Wayne Sevier. You got Seviers out, you got Petty, you got guys out there chirping. Practice is supposed to be loud. A lot of things going on. That's what I like about it.
Yeah, Tony. Rick talked about the defense, about what to look forward in that. Daryl Talley. Yeah, Daryl Talley got that defensive line. I'm still, the pass rushing. I'm not sure about that. Brought in some guys, but you can see a difference as far as just how he has those guys going through drills and working on the footwork and working on their skill sets. So let's start with the areas as far as the defensive line. The secondary, I think the cornerback position is still a big question mark. Emmanuel Forbes talked about, working on his skills, and that's what this OTAs and this veteran minicamp is about, working on some of their skills and putting them in the best position, and the coaches learning what they have, how they can coach them up, and what they still need to make this team better. Linebacker play is one of the areas that I saw most improved. I think that they're going to surprise everybody. Frankie Louvu and Jeremy Chin and all of those guys, and even Jamin Davis. I think he's going to be a better player. Ken Norton Jr. has really got those guys developed, and I've seen a lot of great things from them. But talk about the start with the defensive line. Let's move on to the middle, then at the cornerback. What are you hoping to see, and what question marks do you still have?
First, I'm going out there and see if Ken Norton Jr. can throw him like his daddy could. I'm going to throw that left hook on him, see what I can do. Now, but you start looking at it, and what's really important about this, everything you said is right. And the one thing you did say, they want to put them in position to win, but I add position and condition. And so that's the one thing that I did notice the last few years. They'll play a good half. They can't seem to play a whole game. Everybody got to be going. Doc said something that's very important because I even got that aspect. Every practice that we trying to take the ball away from them. They're trying to run a touchdown on us. The offensive line and the tight ends running as far as the running back. The defensive linemen are chasing. That's the attitude we got to get back. And what has happened is over the years, we've lived on that attitude. Everybody was talking about the Washington teams, whatever the final names were, how good we were. But the one thing, and the operative word is where we were. Now we got to look at where we want them to go. And it's going to start. They're getting good players in. Defensive backfield, you gotta dress that up because you lost some good players. Defensive line, you're changing people, but you have served notice that it's going to be some people on the move there. When you start drafting, you're getting rid of 2 number 1 draft choices, and then you're drafting somebody second, and you're moving this player there. You're going to have some good things happen there. But the one thing down on both sides of the ball, both lines, if nothing else, I want to see top condition. I want to see him run. George Stark used to run all day. That's where I want to see my.
That's right. That's right.
Exactly. Me and Doc play with each other a lot, but Doc was hitting and doing everything I was doing today. That's what I want to see with my tight end. So when we start seeing more conditioning, we start seeing more team analogy, and we start seeing that everybody's position is up for grab, that's when you're going to have a good team. That's what this team needs now. Not to pay a lot of people that, they know they've made the team. Everybody should go to bed scared at night they're going to get that knock. I know I was, but you, Doc.
Damn right. Nothing should be guaranteed. Nothing to be guaranteed.
Hey, and then I didn't even mention the great Bobby Wagner in there. But Tony, I don't think you have that to worry about, the conditioning part, because I saw them. That is one thing I saw out there as far as them getting conditioned. And they talked about competition. Nobody is safe, because they were saying competition all the way around, not what you did in the past and whatever, but competition at every position. So let's shift gears a little bit. Hey, Rick, what do you think about the defense overall? I mean, are they set, or what is some question marks, the concern you have?
Oh, I don't know who's even on their team yet. I just want to see. I know they got to get more edge pressure. They were like benign. You can't play without edge pressure. To me, the edge pressure, the ends are as important as the wide receivers on offense. If we can't pressure people, dead man walking.
Yeah.
When you play the top quarterbacks we have, you're not going to be able to stop people. And so it was pitiful. Now, they had injuries. They also, for whatever reason, they didn't blitz enough. They didn't have enough pressure. I didn't understand the defense. I didn't understand the philosophy. But that whole crew is done. Mm-hmm. That group was crazy. So now we got people in here that can put pressure on people. I don't know how you play defense without creating chaos.
Mm-hmm.
Defense is not supposed to be setting in zone, letting you dictate to them. You're supposed to be dictating to us, forcing issues. We were too damn passive. This group with Joe Witt Jr., you're going to love this dude, man.
You love him.
I think they're going to. And if the offense will stop trying to throw 100 times a game and pound that rock, they work in concert. Pressure defense, ball control offense, set up the deal, pound it, work that clock, take deep shots when you can, and let's go back to old school football instead of trying to please all these fantasy people and all these stat freaks. They don't even know how to win. That past group of nuts they had running this stuff, I think you're going to be really pleased once we find out who's on the team. I have no idea who's going to be on the team. But once they get through that, we get through this camp, I think we're going to be all right.
Yeah,
Well,
Dan Quinn said it was going to be hard decision about, who's going to be on this team, because I was talking to one of the officials that was out there last week, and I was like, hey, how do you see this team? He said they got a lot of talent on this team, really a lot. This is the first time in a long time he said that they seen that talent. And also talking about the offensive side of the ball, you said pound the rock, Rick. You know what? That backfield, Anthony Lynn, what he's got in that backfield is going to be sweet. Austin Eckler, as far as Chris Rodriguez and Brian Robinson Jr. I mean, pick your poison right there. And I saw him work with these guys as far as just their cuts and as far as their footwork and reading things. And Anthony Lynn talked about Chris Rodriguez as far as just his skill sets. He said he likes this guy as far as his explosiveness. Catching the ball out the backfield is something they're working on, all of those. And he said Brian Robinson Jr., as far as staying healthy, a different twist. And then
battering ram.
Yeah, and then Austin Eckler, as far as what he brings to it, he said the key thing about every year that you come in here, somebody is trying to take your job and whatever, and it's his job to help these guys, but they ain't trying. He said he ain't trying to give up his job and whatever. So that's what you like about the sweetness of what you're hearing out there. But the offensive line is still a question mark to me. Brandon Coleman is the guy that they drafted this year. He's more of a guard. They're trying to make him a tackle. I'm not for sure how that's going to work out, but I got a chance to talk to him. Chris Paul talks about, just the coaching staff of how they have improved his game and his development, even at this early stage. And then Sam Cosby talked about just the relationship building with this offensive line. So, Jaden Daniels, what you're hearing from him as a quarterback, I saw some of the sweet passes that he went into triple coverage, double coverage. He's got the arm strength and all of those things. But you know what? It doesn't matter about how great of a quarterback you got. You got to have a sure offensive line. So, Tony and Rick, talk to me about the offensive side of the ball.
Well, as we said, it always starts that offensive line, and that's on the defensive line as well. Wherever you set that line of scrimmage, and when I say that, if the defensive line can push your offensive line back a yard and a half, then they've won that battle at the line of scrimmage. If so, same thing with the offensive line. If they can get that yard or two off and push your defensive line back, you've won that battle. You're playing in their backfield. So what we have to take a look at, improvement must come with those two lines, not just one of them. And you'll say, well, why two of them? If your offensive line is getting whooped every day in practice, that means that they're not that good, and your defensive line is not going to improve. You got to have the kind of practice, and Rick could tell you, ours was just like a game, and you went in there to win your battle. And every time you win, the offensive line win, or every time I win, the defensive line. That's the attitude they got to get back. See, what has happened, we got that cavalier, big money, Washington has always been good attitude up there in D.C. We got to get rid of that right now and go back when we were shaking the stands. We got to get rid of that. Go back when you could run all day. You got to get rid of that when you want to get out there and help in the position, not just talk about what you can do. So that's what I want to see with conditioning. I think this team will be all right.
Hey, Rick, you got the last word on the offensive side of the ball. Tight end wise, they brought in Zach Ertz, and, the other guys as far as tight end wise, have to step up this year. That's an area to me that has to improve. But you got the last word as far as this team on the offensive side of the ball. What's your take?
Well, Zach, if he stays healthy, he was impressive. He's in great shape now. But we both know the older you get, the less likely that you're going to be able to play 16 and practice every day and go through all that. they got a lot of young guys who have not pulled the trigger yet. Well, I don't care about potential. We've been talking about potential way too long for a last place team. I'm ready for them to show up or get rid of people. Either anything is better than where they've been. They too stagnant. We're waiting on people. I think Turner looks great in practice. I've never seen him do anything in the game. So either play or let's go next. Give me undrafted free agents. See, I love the people that are hungry. We got too many fat rats over there to me.
Mm-hmm.
Give me some people, man, that just got out of probation, whatever, that's ready to go play and fight.
Wait. Doc.
No, I'm missing people need a second chance, man. Come out of the correctional center. Give them a chance.
You know they go.
People.
Well, one thing we know, they'll be in shape.
They in practice, making catches. All we hear about them. They never play. Never see them in a game. And they keep bringing them on, man. I'm like, the hell with that. Make it open jobs, open tryouts, whatever.
Yeah.
Way too much draft consciousness. What round? No matter what round you in. They got to get people that are hungry. We got too much social media garbage.
Hello.
People going about what's trending. Tell you what's trending. You being in last place. How's that trend? Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Rick, you got any parting words for Tony as far as what he needs to do?
No. Look, the staff, congratulations. Shout out to the staff. He's got assembled a beautiful staff there. And it's nothing like having 24/7 elderly care. And that's the beauty. They've done a magnificent job. He looks good. He sounds great. And I just think Novena and that staff deserves all the credit in the world. I'm shocked. But it's good to see you, brother. Proud of you, man. You hang in there.
We're going for 40.
And Tony, we got to wrap it up because we'll be back when training camp starts because it's going to be hot out there. It's going to be interesting to see how this team, but as you say, Tony, we don't say goodbye.
We say in the minute and we be talking our game.